Thursday night football is here, baby, and I've got 3 best bets for you, so you don't want to miss this. This is the free 3. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag and make some money together. Last night, I told you, a sweep was due. We were bound for one. We needed one, and we got it last night. 3-0 on the day. Shout out to Yankees for getting the party started with that first 5 money line. No sweat bet there. Twins and Dodgers got it done on the parlay, and then William Contreras, he got us our double, so we got that 3-0 sweep. You know we love to see it. Let's get it, baby. Now you can see our year-to-date record right here. I told you we were going to get over 500 in the month of September. We're going to keep that momentum going today because I've got 3 more winners coming your way, and I guess what? I think we're going to get another sweep on the board because I really love this slate. And if you can, drop a like on this video if I've helped you make some money or if you've been finding value from these picks, because listen, we got a whole lot more winning days coming because you know what's right after football season? That's right, basketball, and you guys don't want to miss that because that's my favorite and my best sport. I'm gearing up and I'm getting that bankroll ready for it. So let's dive into this first best bet of the day. So my first best bet of the day, you guys know where I'm going. We're going to the Lions and Packers Thursday night football. And didn't we just see the Lions on Thursday night like a few weeks ago? How do you think they feel playing a Thursday night game so close, like back-to-back so early on in the season? I don't know. But nonetheless, this game is scheduled, so we got to play it. And the question becomes, can the Lions win again on Thursday night? Nobody was expecting them to win that first Thursday night matchup against the Chiefs. I mean, rightfully so. So the defending Super Bowl champions, they were the favorites, but the Lions got it done in that matchup. And today, we see a small line in this matchup, a -1.5 on some books. I'm seeing -2 on some books in favor of the Lions in this NFC North divisional matchup. And you know what? When I really look at it and I think about it, I really don't necessarily agree with this line, if I'm being all the way honest here. I think when you look at the total body of work between both these teams, the Lions and the Packers, we're a few plays away from this being a 3-0 team versus a 1-2 team rather than 2-1 teams. Which I think if that was the case, if it was a 3-0 team versus a 1-2 game, this line is going to be at least 3.5, maybe even 4, even higher in favor of the Lions. Now granted, the Packers are at Lambeau Field, which is no easy place to play, I get that, but considering they just about lost last week at home to a banged up Saints team, I'm not sure if that advantage is going to matter too much in this matchup today. The Packers were only 4-5 last year against the spread, and if it wasn't really for Derek Carr's injury last week and a missed field goal, again, this line would be higher because the Packers would not be 2-1 right now. So I think because of that, we're getting value on this line and how things have played out thus far, and I think just in overall, the Lions are the better team. Dan Campbell has this team bought in, and as a result, I think these guys are going to make the playoffs this year. I'm going to go with the teaser in this matchup, and teasers have been really good for us. If you've been tapped into the channel, if you tapped into my Twitter page, they've been making us a lot of money. So I'm going to go with a 6-point teaser, Lions plus 4.5 and the under 51.5. We all know how successful primetime unders have been. It's a trend that's been working in the NFL of late, so that's no surprise, and I think that should hold up true again today between these two divisional opponents. Lions have gone under in 2 of their 3 games this year, while the Packers, they went over in their first 2, but they also went under last week in a low-scoring affair. This Lions defense, they remind me a lot more of the Saints' defense than it does the Falcons and the Bears, the opponents of the Packers during the first 2 weeks. And actually, when you look at the numbers, the Saints are 9th in total defense, and the Lions are 11th in total defense. Green Bay's defense is not too shabby either. They're ranked 16th in total defense, but they have some glaring issues there, and that's primarily in the run game. They rank 10th in pass defense, but they're ranked 27th in rush defense. And I think because of that, the Lions are going to exploit that today, which burns a little extra clock, and use that to win this game. But if they do happen to lose, because it's the NFL, shout out to the Cowboys, Ravens, and Jags last week for blowing all of our parlays and survivor picks, then I just don't see it happening by more than a field goal, which is why I'm teasing this one up to 4. So I'm going to take the teaser on the Lions plus the 4, and because both of these defenses are pretty strong, and how strong primetime unders have been, and it's a divisional matchup, I'm going to take the under 51.5. That's the 6-point teaser I'm going with. Now, I will say this, if this line continues to move upward, because I am seeing -2 on some books, but I don't think it's going to move that much, I would not take it below 3.5. The key number is the Lions plus 3.5. You definitely want to get that so you can get that field goal cushion there. So don't play it under 3.5. Take the teaser on 3.5 or higher. I'm going to take the 4.5, and I'm taking the under 51.5 as I think this game goes under. Let's buy the insurance on both sides as we're going to cash this teaser at -120 odds. So for my second best bet of the day, I'm going to go with a play player prop, and I just mentioned to you guys how weak the Packers run defense is, right? That's because they're ranked 27th out of 32 teams so far in total rush defense. So because of that, I'm going to go with Jahmyr Gibbs rushing yards. Now, I have not seen his rushing yards put out on my sports books just yet. I've shopped around everywhere. I don't see his player prop up just yet, so that's to be announced. I will say this, I am assuming that this line is going to be somewhere around the 60-ish range or in the 60s. I would take that. Anything over 70, that's where things get a little iffy, but I would say if it's in the 60s or lower, then take Gibbs rushing yards as the second best bet of the day, because the Lions are going to be without their lead running back, David Montgomery. He's going to be out tonight for his second straight game with a thigh injury. He got injured in that game against Seattle, which opened the door for Jahmyr Gibbs, the first round pick, the number 12 pick, the rookie, and for him to step up in that lead back role. And he did that well in week 3 against the Falcons. We saw him more than double his previous rush attempts. He never rushed this much in a game before. He finished with 17 rushes to pair with 80 yards. So not exactly like a monumental stat line there, but it's great for a rookie who's trying to prove to the coaching staff that he should be the number 1 guy. And he's also just trying to get into a rhythm with this offensive line, and he's getting the touches to where he can really be effective. I love to see that. Now, I've also mentioned how weak the Packers rush defense has been. In the first game against Justin Fields, they gave up 9 carries for 59 yards. In their second game, the Falcons ran for 211 total yards against them, and Bijan Robinson accounted for 124 yards with that. It's no surprise that these Packers are giving up a ton of rushing yards. Why? Because if you paid attention to them last year or you tailed them last year, then you know that was a weakness for them. They finished last year 26th in total rush defense, so it's no surprise this year that they're right now 27th just through 3 games. Now, I think this is a spot for Gibbs for him to really step up, become the lead back in this matchup, and really carry this team, and I think Gibbs is the guy to get that done in tonight's matchup. Now, also keep in mind, the Lions are not a huge throwing team. I know we're in a throwing league now. Everybody loves to throw the ball, but there are no San Diego Chargers with it. They're not trying to throw it all the time, and they actually throw the ball only about 53% of the time. So that means that we should get a pretty balanced play called game tonight between a run and the pass. We should get both of those options today, and I really like the fact that we have a low total in this game and a low line in this game, which means that the run game is going to be even more of a factor. So because of that, we're going to take Jahmyr Gibbs over rushing yards today. Also take an eye on his rush attempts, because if depending on what number it comes out at, I really like that as well. Maybe around 12.5, 13.5, maybe 14.5. That's really kind of where I'm expecting to come out at. I really like that as well. But to see if I take those rush attempts, click the link in the bio and join my free Telegram group, and you'll get all my other picks for tonight on Thursday Night Football as we continue to try to beat the books together. But I'm going to continue to monitor these lines, because as of right now, these lines are not out right now, so make sure you guys are doing the same. Now, for my third and final best bet of the day, I'm sorry, I'm going to leave the football field. I'm not a big fan of the college football games today. I'm going to go over to baseball. It's been good to us over the last 2 days. Been making a lot of money on baseball over the last 2 days, so let's keep that momentum going. I'm going to go with the NRFI, right? And I know these NRFIs have been hit or miss sometimes, especially at this time of year, but listen, don't give up on these NRFIs. Don't give up on these unders just yet. A lot of these games are going under, or if they're going over, it's huge explosions in like 1 inning, right? And that reason why I'm telling you guys to keep an eye on that. Look at what happened yesterday in that Arizona game, right? They scored 3 runs in the 3rd inning. No other team scored in any other innings. You can literally walk down these games. Look at that Yankees and Jays game, right? You can walk down some of these innings. Even if it's just 1 or 2 innings, you can take the under and you can cash in pretty well and make money in like 15 minutes. I made a whole YouTube video on that. You can see it inside the description as well, or on the playlist. But listen, don't sleep on these NRFIs, especially come playoff time, especially right now in the last few games of the season, because we got a lot of prospects, a lot of guys who really, I'm not saying they can't hit the ball, but, you know, it can go either way. And there's some teams that are fighting for playoff seeding, so they've started their playoffs early. They're locked in as though we're already in October. So these are all reasons why I like some of these unders. And I'm going to go with the Brewers and Cardinals NRFI today, minus 120 odds. And in this matchup, we've got Dakota Hudson on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got Corbin Burns on the mound for the Brewers. 2 pitchers who have been absolutely stellar on NRFIs this year. Dakota Hudson is 12-1 on NRFIs this year. He's hit his last 10 in a row, while Corbin Burns is 22-9 on NRFIs this year. He's hit his last 4 in a row. So I definitely love to see that. 2 guys who've been really consistent, locked in on their game of late, and who can really get it down, started off early in the 1st inning. It also helps that both of these teams have not been scoring runs in the 1st inning of late. They both have about a 70% NRFI success rate, and they both haven't scored a run in the 1st inning in 6 straight games. So hopefully today we can complete that. You know what they say, 7 is the number of completion. So hopefully we can get to that number 7 today and in a row, as we're going to cash in on this NRFI between the Cardinals and the Brewers as our 3rd and final best bet of the night. That's it, my friends. 3 bets, 3 winners that are headed your way. Listen, we swept the board last night. There's no reason why we can't sweep the board again today. We're finishing off this month of September strong, building into October. So as always, I don't want you guys to miss these picks and plays. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I can't wait to see you inside the group. Let's make some money tonight. Dictate your fate, and I'll see you tomorrow. Later, guys.